Wait, I've just hit the record button.
You hit the button. Oh, right, okay.
I've hit the button. The button has been hit. And and it wasn't like the time that I went to the toilet and some sort of lamb came out of my arse when I shit the mutton. Yes.
Yes. I saw that one coming.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, so so did I. I was having a wank at the time. Yeah, I was in church as well, but that probably should have done it.
That's to be expected.
Is it though? I mean, that's the thing. Why were people shocked then? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the priest, he was masturbating behind the pulpit all the time, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, he was behind the pulpit. I mean, you couldn't see.
No.
We only saw it because we'd rigged up some sort of system with mirrors and stuff and a periscope.
Very complex and
that periscope. That periscope we saw them make on Blue Peter.
Yeah. Very handy, that Blue Peter periscope. I've been using it to observe my own anal activities.
Right. I mean, does it have many activities? I mean, are they really activities, or are they just sort of arbitrary things?
It's not so much active as...
It doesn't sort of have like a pottery class or something?
No, it just sort of sits there and quivers every once in a while, occasionally releasing gas.
It could be, maybe it's cold, Or it could be having a seizure.
Well, if my anus ever does have a seizure, I will probably be aware of it.
Uranus can have a seizure, but Uranus cannot seizure. You didn't see that one coming, did you?
Oh, that was very droll.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very droll.
We were here to talk about something, weren't we?
Yes. Right. We were arguing the other night over the logistics involved and the basic physics involved in the collapsing of the World Trade Centers.
Yes. He believes that there was sufficient cushioning around the bomb for it to be quietened, and I don't believe.
Yes, because you seem to think you live in this world where if you ain't seen it, then it ain't there, right? Well, that's bollocks, right? Because you ain't been to China. There's fucking loads of them.
I've seen Chinese people. I've eaten Chinese food.
You haven't eaten Chinese food. You've eaten food made by Chinese people. It's not Chinese food. It was, he bought it down down Netto's.
It was a Chinese recipe made by Chinese people in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, but the restaurant was not I'm saying it was arbitrarily Chinese due to the ethnicity of the people who own it. If they left it there and some Italian people moved in, you'd call it an Italian restaurant, even if they continued serving the same bloody food.
No, I'd call it Chinese food served by Italian people. Its geographical location does not make it its ethnicity.
But if no one had told you it was Chinese food, you would just think of it as food, like they do in China.
Yes, that's very true. But, however, since I do not live in China, and that particular recipe is not an average foodstuff of me today. We're getting off track, remember?
Right.
Oh, bloody Chinese.
So, yes, because the bang, when the detonation from the bombs that went off, cause in the same place where the plane hit, because it was radio controlled, by an expert. And,
an expert, you say?
An expert. Well, you wouldn't get nobody in, would you? I mean, if you're going to fly a 747 into a building, you're going to fucking get someone who knows what he's doing, aren't you?
But what would the point be in doing that? I mean, consider this. It takes an expert to fly a plane between the two towers and keep it unscathed.
Yeah, but loads of people can fucking fly toy airplanes on radio control. Not all of them. You wouldn't trust them because it's different things, innit? It's like just two toggly things and a what's it? That's what they're called technically. You don't know. And
I do. They're called the things are called transmitters, and they're simply called sticks.
Sticks. Yeah, because they're going to do that, aren't they? We've got this great thing. What should we call it? We'll call it a stick. What should we call this plane? We'll call it a rock, right? Because it's...
I'll have you know that the stick was the greatest invention man ever conceived.
No. The stick was what the guy who invented the wheel's retarded brother came up with. He didn't really come up with it. He just had the bit of bamboo and he hadn't thought of it, folding it or doing anything with it. But anyway, the fact is, the reason you didn't hear a detonation is because... there was sufficient cushioning around all the detonation devices that it absorbed the noise.
And what would you consider sufficient cushioning?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a big noise, isn't it? Do you remember that time we went out to Blackpool and we met that woman and we, for reasons we don't have to go into here, we had to put something over her head to stop her screaming. Because she was scared. She was scared of something. A ghost, right? And she was screaming, and I could barely hear her through my through my corduroy anorak, right? So I'm going to say, I'd say at least one duvet, single size, couple of togs at most. You could do that easy.
A duvet. Consider right. Let me get this straight. So you believe that a duvet is sufficient masking, sufficient cushioning to silence an explosion designed.
Well, not just a duvet. It could have been anything. They could have used bubble wrap. They could have used some of those little sort of quavery Cheeto things you get in packaging. They might have possibly an old gym mattress. Maybe lots of things. Maybe a fat person. It's America. Would have helped. But anyway, the point is they absorbed the sound. They didn't cushion. They didn't stop it. The sound was there, but they absorbed it. And then they put the thing in a room, right? And then they lock the door, and then it lets the noise out.
I'm finding this highly far-fetched.
Okay, then.
I've heard more convincing scientific explanations in an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah. But you don't watch Star Trek?
I do.
No, that's not Star Trek. That's called Rainbow.
With a voice like mine, you really think I don't watch Star Trek? I am quite capable of explaining the physics behind warp drive, why they're
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? What's your theory? Tell them your theory.
It was simple. There was no explosion because there was no bomb to detonate.
But tell them the rest of it. Go on. Tell them the rest of your wacky idea.
There was also no buildings.
Here we go. You see, no fucking... See, I'm mental. You think I'm mental. He doesn't even think there was a fucking building there. Yeah?
Allow me to explain. Allow me to explain in full detail. You see, for the last 20, 30 odd years, since 1977, when they supposedly finished building the World Trade Center.
What do you mean supposedly? I mean, they did.
No, because what they finished doing was erecting a holographic projection of the two towers, you see. So for the last 30 odd years, there was two holograms, 500 feet high, or however tall they were.
Well, 3,000, right.
Details.
500 feet, fucking hell.
Anyway. And of course, there was the problem of people going in and out of the building.
Wait till you get this right.
Herein lies the kicker.
Yeah.
You see, when a person entered the building, they were immediately drugged.
Yes.
And they were knocked out for 5-6 hours, however long it was their shift was supposed to be. And whilst they were unconscious, they had memories implanted in their brains of a full working day.
In their brains with tweezers. It was exactly.
With a hypodermic syringe and tweezers on their nostril hairs.
Yeah.
That's this full working day complete with conversations at the water cooler, peering at women's asses and all that bollocks.
Having a couple of wanks under the desk. Doing a shit in the guy next to his desk.
Yes, pissing in the ashtray and all that rubbish. Waking up. And when they wake up at the end of their shift, they're just suddenly shoved out the door, and as far as they're concerned, they've been at work all day, money goes into their bank account, everything's peachy. The simple fact is, none of them have worked a day in their life, but as far as they're concerned, they have. And that is how all the 3,000 people in those buildings were duped into believing that they have a job there, when in fact all they did was sleep.
Here's the thing, how did those people get near the top so they could jump out?
It's simple. There were no people. There were holographic projections.
They were holographic people as well.
They were holographic suicide, you see. They've been planning this for years. They programmed in. That's why, if you look very carefully at the holograms of the people diving out the windows, they're all wearing 70s style clothing.
I don't want to sound anti-Semitic here, but I did notice that all the Jews who jumped out of the windows all had parachutes. I'm just saying, it seemed a bit suspicious to me, that.
Well, you may have a point there, but it may not have been parachutes. As I said, they were wearing 70s clothing. They may have had really large collars.
Jews can't wear 70s clothing. It's against their religion. It's written it's in the Torah. Yeah.
Well, when you're duping the entire world into believing that there's two giant buildings sitting in the middle of New York City, you're hardly going to worry about, religious rules.
Yeah. I mean, so the planes were real then?
The planes themselves weren't even planes. The planes were in fact just little miniature models, and all the cameras pointing at the thing were at the precisely the right angle to make it look like they were much larger than they were.
Well,
the actual planes were simple 1/24 scale models.
I think the fact is we both agree on one thing, right? We both agree when it comes to the moon conspiracy. When it comes to it, we can both agree, yes, the moon isn't real. It's a beach ball that is suspended a mere 100 feet away from the surface of the ground, right? And it looks like it's a long fucking way away.
Yes, I mean, if you get a tall enough ladder, you can actually touch it. I mean,
yes,
I've done it.
I've actually thrown a packet of crisps at it, and it brushed it.
I once popped the moon.
Did you?
I did. I was worried actually because I thought the men in black would come along and use their flashy thing on me.
What the Jews again?
I don't know. They're all wearing black, you see, and it's dark, and they've got sunglasses on.
How do you know they were wearing black if it was dark? It could have just been really dark.
I don't know, but one of them looked like Will Smith.
See, what was it attached to, the moon? Did you figure that out?
It appeared to be attached by a long piece of fishing wire. Right. I think it must have been incredibly long because I couldn't see where it attached to the giant rod. But it was suspended on a piece of filament of sorts. And I popped it because I threw a small sharp stone at it.
Well,
It sort of deflated it, and it kind of looked like a milky ball bag.
Yeah. And you see, and this is why, you know, you've got to do, you know, people, you've got to risk these things because, you know, we are skeptics at the end of the day. I call myself a skeptic, but I've never been too sure about that. I have to think about it. But I think, you know, anyway, so there, you can discuss that now. There's going to be loads of arguments starting now. You know what the internet's like. Yes, there's all these fucking sad bastards who's going to sit there.
All those sheep who refuse to search into these things themselves.
All those
follow the mass media.
All of those little tiny people who are going to come around here and post stupid shit, and they're going to sit there and go, you know, 9/11 was an inside something, and you know, and so I've got a man.
We're yet to blame Muslim terrorists on it.
Yeah, like as if they've done anything.
What have the Muslims ever done to us?
You look at them; they're lovely, right?
Ninja, rap.